Hey guys, what's up? This is Khan from Geek Culture. Welcome to our very first video feature. This week, Geek Culture attended the special launch event for Diablo 3, Reaper of Souls. We had a chance to sit down and talk with Michael Chu, senior lead designer from Blizzard Entertainment. So check out the interview. So it's a great honor having you here with us today. So we know that Diablo is one of the most popular video game franchises in the world. So for lack of a better phrase, it's one hell of a phenomenon, right? So how does it feel to be part of something so special?
Well, I feel really lucky because, when I started working in the game industry, I worked on Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction, and it's a really important game to me. So when I had the opportunity to work on Diablo 3, I was so excited. And the fact that, it's been well received and I feel like the game is really great is something that I'm really, really happy about. And, it's kind of unbelievable.
Wow, okay. That sounds awesome, right? You're kind of living the dream, basically. So a couple of weeks ago, this pre-expansion patch went live for vanilla Diablo 3. So it contained a huge list of changes. I haven't had the experience, I haven't had the opportunity to experience it for myself, but the people I've talked to, they basically tell me it's like a brand new game, a whole new game. So I'd just like to know, what's the rationale behind, this massive overhaul of the whole game mechanics?
Right. So after Diablo 3 came out, we did a lot of post-release content patches because what we wanted to do was sort of refine the experience. We felt that we had a good core gameplay experience, but we learned a lot of stuff in release. And there were a lot of things that we could fix then and in the patches that came out after that. But there was a lot of stuff that we sort of earmarked that, when Reaper comes out, there are these things that we want to address. And one of them, I think, one of the main ones was the item game. And so, what we found was item game is so important to the Diablo franchise. It really drives players to do what they do, to experience content. And what we want to do is make that more fulfilling, and so that when you are going through the game and you're playing, you're getting more items that are more meaningful, you're getting a bigger variety, more legendaries, that kind of stuff.
It's all about the loot, right?
That's right, it's all about the loot.
Okay. So aside from these improvements to the item game that you just mentioned, what else does Reaper of Souls bring to the table? And in your opinion, how does it change up the game for the player?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that is different in Reaper of Souls is the addition of adventure mode. And adventure mode very much comes out of that same sort of thought process that we had after releasing Diablo 3. We looked at the way that we were playing the game, we looked at the way that the community was playing the game, and what we found is that what people want to do is they want to play this content, they want to get more loot, they want to kill monsters, but there are things that get in the way. For example, you want to experience the story once. You want to go through, you want to have the experience of killing Diablo. But after that, what you really want to do is you want to go out there and you want to kill and you want to collect items. And so what we decided was, well, what if we embrace this? This is what players want. How can we give them the best possible experience of that? So what we do is, we came with this idea of adventure mode. We take the areas, we unlock everything, we give you new gameplay objectives in the form of bounties. We also give you Nephilim Rifts, which are extremely randomized and different every time you play. So, every time you jump in, you get to choose what you want to do, you have a new experience.
So it's basically all about the freedom this time around.
Yeah.
Okay. So, aside from all that you've already mentioned, can Diablo fans expect any surprises from Reaper of Souls? Are there going to be any wow moments that people are going to be talking about for some time?
Oh, I definitely think so. One of the things that we were going for in the campaign of Reaper of Souls in Act 5 is we wanted to embrace this idea of mystery. You don't quite know what's going on. You're introduced to this new bad guy, Malthael, in the cinematic, and early on you sort of see the result of what he's been doing. You see the devastation of this great city, Westmarch, and as you go through the game, what's going on becomes clear, and there are definitely some twists and turns.
I see. That's good to know. But so I'll just take that as a yes. There are going to be some surprises. All right. So now back to vanilla Diablo 3 for a bit. So I believe it still holds the record for the fastest-selling PC game of all time. How do you think Reaper of Souls is going to measure up to that?
Well, I think the way that I see Reaper of Souls is very much like how Lord of Destruction was for Diablo 2. We have this great foundation of a game, and then what we want to do is we wanted to take the things that we really like, make them stronger, and then add in features to just make the whole overall Diablo 3 experience that much better. So, what we're really trying to do is, focus on that foundation and then just kind of improve and make it the sort of platform, the sort of game that you can continue to play and just experience.
Okay, so Diablo 3. huge launch, 3 million copies sold on day one. That's awesome in itself, but it also brought about some problems. So people couldn't really log into the game. Error 37, blah blah blah. You know the rest.
Yeah.
So I'd just like to know, how has the team at Blizzard anticipated today's launch? How have they prepared to deal with this influx of players?
Right. So obviously, after the launch of Diablo 3, we learned a lot of lessons. About there's some things that it's hard to know until it actually happens.
Right.
And now that we're armed with this information, and it's years later, I think we've learned our lessons, and we're much better prepared to handle this launch.
Well, I guess coming from you, this sounds reassuring. I'm sure the fans will be glad to hear that. So, just let's talk a little about the development of the game. So, during the course of development, you must have talked to your team lots of times about what to add, what to change, and so on. Is there one feature that was ultimately thrown out, but you wish had stayed in the game?
I think one of the things we talked a little bit about is this. I think Devil's Hand. And
what's
it's
that?
a sort of item collection mechanic, and I think it was very interesting. But it came about very late in development, and I think the sort of approach that we take at Blizzard is, you want to provide every feature that you put in, you want it to be fully realized, you want it to be iterated upon.
Of course.
You want it to be something that stands alone, and just adding in extra features for feature's sake doesn't really do much. So we ended up focusing on new features like adventure mode and really cleaning up, streamlining, and making the campaign the best experience possible.
Okay, but the way you mention it sounds very exciting. Do you think it's possible that it might make it into the game eventually, somehow?
I don't know, but it was just an interesting idea. But we have lots of interesting ideas.
I'm sure. So, on the flip side of all the things that actually did make it into the game, which is the one feature that you're most proud of?
Well, I think it would have to be adventure mode, because I think that it really enables, the way it's really giving players what they want. It's a way that they can continue to play Diablo and continue to kill monsters, still have these new experiences, and I think it's really the thing that separates Reaper.
Right. So, listening to the fans, basically, I think we all know that the Diablo community can be quite a vocal bunch. I mean, all gamers are nowadays. Everyone's a critic. So, tell me, as a writer and a designer, how do you maintain that balance between giving the fans what they want versus your own artistic vision of how the game should be?
Right. So I think what's important is that it's always important to accept feedback, and that's something that Blizzard always does. We're very we go on the forums, we listen to social media, and what we do is we look for trends, we look for patterns, and honestly, a lot of the things that our players ask for are things that we want ourselves. And
Right.
when we identify things like that, what we do is we make sure that we don't overreact. We want to figure out what is the cause of the issue, and then figure out a smart solution to it.
Okay, so you're sort of going by the by players, for players kind of route, because you guys enjoy the game yourselves.
That's the thing at Blizzard. We love playing our own games, and we're our own harshest critics. And when we go about making features and making games, one of the first things we look for is this something that I would love? Because if I love it, probably other people will too.
Right, that's really good to know, coming from you, the lead designer. So now that you've shipped Reaper of Souls, could you tell us a little more about what's next for you and your team? Could we expect more expansions, a sequel maybe, or maybe even a brand new game?
Well, I can't talk about too much, but what I can say is that after Blizzard completes a project, we are very focused on maintaining that project and making sure that we release patches and sort of make sure that it's something that we feel really satisfied with.
All right. So, well, we hope to hear more from you in the days to come with regards to new game releases, updates, expansions. We'll definitely keep our eyes peeled. So I'm afraid we're almost out of time. Do you have any parting words for all the Diablo fans out there?
Yeah, I think definitely check out Reaper of Souls. I feel like it is sort of the spiritual successor for what Lord of Destruction was to Diablo 2. It really opens up the game. You get a new campaign, get to see all sorts of new environments, new hero, and then you can play adventure mode and have as much fun as you want.
All right, awesome. So thank you so much for your time, Michael.
Thank you.
No doubt that Reaper of Souls is going to be a great game. Wish you all the best, and we hope to see you here again in Singapore sometime soon. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. For more of all things geeky, please visit geekculture.co, and don't forget to like us on Facebook. The button should be floating around somewhere here. Stay tuned to us for our review of Diablo 3, Reaper of Souls. See you guys later.